Tonight, they're out on Osborne, but they're not fighting fires. How Winnipeg firefighters are raising funds for muscular dystrophy.
And seniors shape up. How a new study at the U of M is helping older adults stay fit.
Plus, getting donations for cats and dogs. How the Winnipeg Humane Society Telethon will help animals in need.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. Our top story tonight, firefighters out in the snow raising money for a good cause.
Yeah, I bet it was a chilly night out there for them. They've been camped out on the top of Osborne Village Fire Hall since Tuesday. The firefighters are hoping to raise $70,000 for muscular dystrophy. Rrctv's Brittany Hobson shows you how they're doing so far.
Good morning!
It takes a few minutes of waving the boot around in traffic.
Oh! Thank you very much, sir.
But Remo Donnage's big smile pays off with a donation into the boot.
Have a good day. Thank you.
Firefighters from the Osborne Village Fire Hall are going all out to get donations, on the street and on the buses.
Just following the brotherhood, right? Your brothers need help, so you chip in and help out, and that's the way the fire service works.
The firefighters are camped out on the roof of the fire hall at Osborne and Stradbrook for 3 nights. They are raising money to support people living with muscular dystrophy.
Muscular dystrophy is a condition that affects the muscles. Symptoms include muscle wasting, muscle weakness, and loss of function. In extreme cases, people living with the condition can lose the ability to perform simple tasks like brushing your teeth or climbing the stairs. Right now, there is no cure or treatment for the disease.
There are 50,000 people living with muscular dystrophy in Canada.
That's not a death sentence. It may be on paper, but mentally it doesn't have to be that way.
It's extremely important for research, obviously, because there's been some amazing breakthroughs, especially in the last year, towards hopefully finding a cure. But in the meantime, it helps support families.
The Winnipeg Division has collected more than $30,000 this year. Firefighters hope to reach a total 7-year goal of $250,000. Brittany Hobson, Rrctv.
The campout ends tomorrow and all the money raised stays in Manitoba.
The city wants to know what you think about adding more pedestrian walks and bike lanes. The focus right now is downtown and around the Health Sciences Centre. Rrctv's Jeff Schultz shows you the different options.
Mark Cohen, Bike Winnipeg's executive director, has come down to the Health Science Centre to give his opinion on upgrade plans for some of the downtown bike lanes that he travels on.
It's good to see people coming out and talking. It's good to see that we have some open options, that we're not closing off ideas at the start. We're coming out not with one design option and just sort of ramming it through, but we're working our way through the question. So I'm happy to see that.
The city showed off plans for 2 potential designs to make McDermott Avenue more bike-friendly. Right now, McDermott is 2-way around the Health Science Centre and then becomes 1-way when you cross into the residential area. The first option would see McDermott become all 1-way heading into the downtown. This means that the first 2 lanes would remain open to vehicle traffic and the third would become converted to a 2-way protected bike lane. The second option would have the street remain open to 2-way traffic, but with traffic calming features like bump outs for parked cars. HSC employees and local Winnipeggers came down to check out the options and give their opinion on existing bike routes.
They're not always connected everywhere. Like I have a bike path down by my house, which is between Raleigh and Gateway. It's an excellent path. Everybody uses that all winter long. And then once you leave there, you kind of drift off of bike lanes, right?
Making city streets more bicycle and pedestrian friendly is only part of the city's plan. They're also looking to upgrade the crossings to link existing bike lanes like here in Assiniboine Avenue with popular tourist attractions like the Forks Market. They'll be holding a public consultation at the Forks Market on March 20th between 12:30 and 2:30. Jeff Schultz, Rrctv.
If you can't make it to a forum, you can have your say at winnipeg.ca/walkbikeprojects.
All that snow we got last night is going to make driving even worse. Lauren McGill now joins us live. Lauren, how is this weather going to affect the roads?
Well, bottom line, the freeze, thaw, and freeze again cycle means one thing: more potholes. When it's above zero during the day and below freezing at night, like it's been this past week, that is prime pothole time. Last night's snow is now filling the cracks and potholes with water. That's freezing and making these potholes deeper and bigger. And that means there are lots of roads in the running for worst in Manitoba.
Pothole season has just begun, and people like Travis Rawson are already fed up with city roads.
I had problems with going down Ness. There was a pothole on the right-hand lane, I do believe, and I went into it. It was raining, everything like that. Didn't think it was that bad, and I went duh, and ended up with a flat tire.
The snowfall last night doesn't help. Once the snow melts, potholes fill with water and drivers often can't see them until it's too late. The roads are so bad, CAA is holding its 5th annual Worst Roads campaign. Manitobans can vote on which road they think is the worst in the province.
We've seen a really good response over the last 5 years. This year we're 1 week into the campaign and we have just over 3,000 votes and close to 400 roads nominated.
Highway 280 in Gillam won the award last year. In the past 4 years, St. James Street has either finished second or first every year. There is evidence of patching, but some massive potholes are still there.
Yeah, Ness is pretty bad. St. Matthews, I know, is a nightmare.
Ness Avenue is 4th in the worst roads poll. It's the first Winnipeg road to appear, after roads in Carman, Brookdale, and Gillam. You can report potholes to the city by contacting 311 or online through the city's website.
Last year, the city spent about $1.8 million repairing potholes.
So Lauren, what can drivers do to protect their cars?
Well, CAA says the best thing to do is to slow down on rocky roads. Don't swerve, you might hit cars beside you. And avoid or go very slowly through big puddles. They could be hiding big potholes. And it's a simple thing, but check your tires and make sure they're properly inflated.
Thanks, Lauren.
Nursing students learn how to take blood and temperatures, but now they're learning how to take time for themselves. Rrctv Samantha Sampson shows you how the Mindfulness for Success workshop is helping nurses cope with anxiety.
You're looking at a lifesaver in training. Lene Wagner is learning to use medical tools in this Red River College lab to help future patients, but she's also learning tools to help herself.
I was a little stressed out during my first term. There's a lot of adjustments because I've never been tested in a hands-on way.
As a first-year nursing student, Wagner thrives under stress, but she finds it can be distracting. That's why she's part of a college pilot program to implement mental health education into the nursing program.
This is part of a proficiency test that first-year students do in their first term. It's checking your vital signs and your blood pressure. Some students get pretty anxious and they get a little worked up so they can't focus, but the students in the Mindfulness for Workshop program say they're using tools to ground themselves and focus.
Basically, that's what you're trying to do, anchor yourself to the present moment, right?
This is a grounding exercise to help focus, reevaluate, and succeed.
In our individual sessions, we see students experiencing anxiety and depression and other sort of issues, things that are so preventable, things that are so manageable, but they impact the ability of the student to function. So if we can give them the tools to manage that, to experience life better, why wouldn't we do that?
The group talks about their week and practices mindfulness tools and tests. Bonneau says the goal is to bring the workshops to all RRC students. That might help keep Wagner in class and eventually in the hospital.
You want to stay so much with your friends, with your peers, and you don't want to fall back a year. So, because it's a condensed 3-year program, you don't want to miss a step.
The students will meet once more, then they'll evaluate the program. Samantha Sampson, RRC-TV.
If the college can't integrate the workshops into classes next year, they may become drop-in lunch sessions.
The snow might have bombarded us, but flowers are blooming inside the college. The Canadian Cancer Society is selling daffodils at the Exchange District campus today and tomorrow. Volunteer Bruce Locken works at the college library. His 6-year-old son Connor died from a brain tumor 15 years ago. Locken has volunteered with the society ever since.
For me, this is one way, small way of giving back to the Cancer Society for all that they do. And if I can help somebody have hope, like a bunch of daffodils is so happy and cheerful. It's just something small to give back. I feel like I owe. There's no way I can ever repay what they always did for us.
A bunch of daffodils is $7. You can also buy Locken's double chocolate chip cookies for a toonie. The money helps behind the scenes at the society. It pays for things like tools and rides to and from treatment for patients. Locken and the society will be back from Friday to 11 in the afternoon.
Stay with us. Tanisha Losh in next with your weekend weather.
Just when we thought the snow was gone and summer was close, we woke up to a whole bunch of this. I'll tell you how long the snow will stay when we come back with your full weather forecast.
Looking for a way to channel your creativity into a rich and rewarding career path? Hoping to find work in a fast-paced field where imagination is considered an asset? Red River College's creative arts programs provide the theoretical and technical training to help you succeed in a range of design, media, and business communications-based industries. Learn about careers that place you at the forefront of established and emerging fields in business, government, and nonprofit sectors where you can harness new technologies and a vast array of media to help employers and clients achieve their goals. Always had a way with the written word? Find out how to translate your skills into a successful career in journalism, marketing, media production, advertising, public relations, and corporate communications. Or if you're more visually inclined and you're comfortable using technology to bring your ideas to life, you'll find a wealth of opportunities awaiting you in the fields of video and photography, print and web design, video game design, or motion graphics and animation. Follow in the footsteps of fellow graduates who've achieved success on the world stage and make a name for yourself in Manitoba's thriving communications and creative arts communities. Our experienced instructors and industry quality equipment and training spaces, including television and radio stations, production suites, photography labs, and motion capture systems, will help you define your strategies and techniques while giving you a competitive edge in the workplace. Learn how Red River College can make your career goals a reality. Train your eye on the world around you and make your mark on an industry that celebrates your vision.
Good evening, everyone. Let's talk about all the crazy weather we've been having, starting with the national map here. So we've been having this jet stream come across Canada here, starting in the west coast. It's going under the prairies, so that's why we're having the cold weather there. But in Vancouver, it's at a hot 9 degrees, and in Yellowknife, -7. Edmonton is +1, and Calgary is 0. We're seeing a lot of cloud there. And then over here in the east coast, this is where it's missing here, just under the prairies, but the pressure system is coming back up, which is bringing that chilly weather there. So it's low pressure. Toronto is sitting at a +7, Montreal +10, Ottawa 7, St. John's is at -1, and Iqaluit is at a cold -22. And in our Manitoba map, here we go. Churchill's at a -12. We're seeing a lot of sun there, but it's still cold. -2 in Thompson, Dauphin there is cloudy. Here we're seeing it again in Winnipeg, +1. Brandon is -1, and Kenora is at +1 again with the snow. A lot of clouds there. And just taking a look at our 4-day weather forecast. So Friday is +2 and a low of -11. And Saturday is kind of where we're going to start seeing the snow melting over the 2 days there, Friday and Saturday. So it's at a +2 there, low -6, 20% chance of rain. Sunday's at a plus of high 1, a low -8, and overcast at 30% chance of rain. And Monday, we're going to see some more snow again, so get ready. It's at overcast with 1 to 3 centimeters there. And I'll be back again in a little while with your What's Up Winnipeg for some things you can do over the weekend.
Thanks, Tanisha. Researchers at the University of Manitoba are looking into how to help male seniors build muscle. The study involves weight training, including omega-3 in their diet. As Rrctv's Scott Billick shows you, many of the men in the study are already feeling the benefits.
With each shoulder press, Jerry Johnstone says he can feel his body changing. Now in week 9 of a 12-week study, he's seeing the benefits long before the final results are posted.
I've lost some weight. I've actually lost a bit of weight around the middle, more muscle definition in the arms and the shoulders and the legs, and I just feel better all around.
This study, what we're trying to achieve is to find out whether or not adding omega-3 supplements to a resistance training program will increase muscle mass strength and decrease inflammatory markers in the blood more so than just using a placebo oil supplement and doing the same resistance training program.
Muscle deteriorates quickly in seniors. This study is looking for ways to maintain and even build muscle. And the added bonus for people like Johnstone, a renewed love for working out.
Most definitely. After all the work that we've been putting in here, I don't want to kind of drift back into what I used to be. So I'm now looking at options, either coming here or refit or Good Life or Shapes, but yeah, something.
This particular study behind me is already at full capacity for participants. Cornish says he's already been getting emails and phone calls of people looking to come and participate. New research will come when new funding comes, Cornish says. He says he's looking to do similar research on similar age groups in the future. Right now, the results of this test are due out in about a year's time as the study wraps up at the end of June. Scott Billick, Rrctv.
For more information about research projects, visit umanitoba.ca.
A Tyndall Park organization is teaching people about healthy eating through cooking classes. Rrctv's Bailey Hildebrand shows you how a group of people with diabetes is learning to make diabetic-friendly meals.
To avoid burning it, John Van Bruggen quickly stirs the sauce for his lentil cabbage rolls, a meal he can eat as a diabetic. Van Bruggen has always been interested in cooking, but he wasn't always allowed to growing up on the farm as the only boy. Now he's making up for lost time.
Now that we're retired, I do a lot of cooking at home. My wife, there's certain things I don't touch. I don't make pies and I don't like making salads. But everything else I do.
Here at the Norwest Co-op Community Food Center, they help people thrive in the community when it comes to food. For example, the Living Well with Diabetes cooking class helps people who have been recently diagnosed with diabetes or been living with diabetes for a long time get used to cooking for a diabetic diet.
This is one of the 3 classes Van Bruggen takes at the food center. Fellow classmate Laura Rose is not just a student. She teaches kids in the kitchen on Mondays here. She's also taught refugees and says food creates community.
Food is very international, like people are interested, and that it will cross over barriers of language and culture. So that's what I find here. It's so exciting.
We'll decorate it up a bit.
Van Bruggen will take his carefully garnished cabbage rolls home to enjoy this week. He just needs to pop them in the oven. Bailey Hildebrand, Rrctv.
If you are interested in joining a class, you can register at norwestcoop.ca.
Juvenile arthritis affects around 600 Manitobans under 16. Rrctv's Jessica Williams shows you how a Winnipeg school is spreading awareness about what it's like to live with the disease.
JA is different for everyone who has it, but for me, it's my knees and my eyes.
Naomi is only 11, but she's used to speaking to crowds. She has been living with JA, or juvenile arthritis, for more than 9 years. Her mother says when Naomi was small, she acted a little differently than the other kids her age.
It was kind of strange because she would get out of bed in the morning and she would crawl and she wouldn't walk. We thought, oh, is she just lazy? What's going on here?
She was moving differently than the other kids at daycare, and her knees were swollen.
So most of the time I'm a normal kid and you wouldn't know that I have arthritis.
Her mom took her to the doctor and they got a diagnosis right away, but not every family is so lucky.
We're informing the public and then hopefully we can help somebody else that might be out there wondering what's wrong with their child and, help them to get a diagnosis maybe faster.
And they also noticed that my knee looks swollen.
Sometimes JA causes her problems.
Depends what I've been doing the past night. Like if I've been really, really active the next day, like the day earlier, then it can sometimes be a little bit sore, but otherwise I feel fine.
Raising awareness is important to let people know that kids get arthritis too. Events like the Faces of Juvenile Arthritis Luncheon are important for every child living with JA. There are over 600 children living with juvenile arthritis in Manitoba. That's approximately 1 in every single school. Jessica Williams, Rrctv.
The Arthritis Society has raised nearly $4.3 million for arthritis research.
Stay with us. Evan Matthews is next with sports. How a high school hockey tournament is prepping girls for their futures.
Passionate about video games. I love playing them, but beyond that, I'm really interested in making them, and this is the place to come to make video games. What's awesome about DMD is it gives you a little bit of everything.
The year one of DMD is actually super great. You want to dabble in video, you can dabble in 3D animation, you can check out web design and kind of figure out what you actually like. It's really great to try everything and get a really good sense of what you want to go for.
In the second year, students can pick from one of 3 majors. One of those is 3D computer graphics, and in that, students will use Autodesk Maya or Unity for things like visual effects and video game development. Or they can pick the web major, where they learn web and mobile front-end skills like WordPress, HTML, CSS. Students can also take the video major, where they will learn After Effects and video production. They'll be doing motion graphics using Cinema 4D as well. They'll also learn documentary and corporate video production.
Being part of this campus is really great. I love the exchange and I love this campus and this building, and I really wanted to work in the exchange, which has a lot of creative studios.
Students come in and they know some stuff about new media, but we really expand on that and we really build them up, and they become such wonderful artists. And once they graduate, we've seen them go on to do such amazing things, and I'm so proud to be a part of that.
Welcome back. Evan Matthews joins us now with sports.
Evan, I heard the CFL Combine was last weekend.
Yeah, so the Combine happened in Toronto over the weekend, and the U of M actually had a fair amount of representation. But it wasn't the biggest sports news in town in the last week. But that honor does in fact go to a U of M Bison's player. Monday was a... Oh.
Come on, David.
Monday was a big day for the U of M Bison's football program, and even bigger for 23-year-old David Onyemata. The program held its first ever NFL Pro Day to showcase the talent of the 6'3", 300-pound defensive lineman. 17 scouts were on hand, as he's expected to be the first player from the university ever drafted into the NFL. Now, before you think we're forgetting about the other U of M defensive linemen to play in the NFL, Israel Adonijah, there is a distinction between the two. Adonijah was never drafted, but the Cleveland Browns signed him as a free agent. He then spent the next 11 seasons in the NFL with the Browns, the Chicago Bears, and the Detroit Lions. And both men are from the same hometown of Lagos, Nigeria. Onyemata is projected to be drafted in the 3rd round of this year's NFL draft. And to hockey now, the Winnipeg Jets were on the road last night. They took on the Calgary Flames as Mark Scheifele looked to extend his 8-game point game streak. Spoiler alert, it didn't happen.
High slot now with a shot, scores!
Alex Burmistrov looked to continue his hot streak early on with a quick shot from the top of the circle, beating Flames goalie Yanni Ordio. The goal was quickly disallowed from goalie interference from Mark Godano. Things didn't get much better for the Jets from that point on. But shortly after, a bad bounce goes off the stick of Jets netminder Andre Pavlik. Joel Colburn received credit for the goal, with the assist going to former Jet Michael Frolik. Things continue to get worse for the Jets, as Frolik finds twine for the 4th time in his last 2 games. The goal came on a beautiful slap pass from Flames forward Michael Backlund, and then a deflection past the outstretched Pavlik. The lone marker for the Jets came at the midway point of the 2nd period, when Ordio turns the puck over to Blake Wheeler behind the net. Wheeler then finds Drew Stafford out front of the net for his 19th of the season. The Flames would add 2 more, including this goal from their captain Mark Giordano, with the assist going to Frolik, who ended up with 3 points on the night. The Flames down the Jets 4-1, moving ahead of the Jets in the Western Conference Cellar. The loss has the Jets sitting tied for 2nd last place in the NHL and 2nd last in the Western Conference, but it improves their bid for the 1st overall draft pick. The Toronto Maple Leafs have the highest chance in winning the draft lottery with a 20% chance. The Edmonton Oilers are next with 13.5%, and then the Jets have the 3rd highest chance with 11.5% currently. On that note, the silver linings continue for the Winnipeg Jets and their fans. Local celebrity and fan favorite, Len Kropiowski, better known as Kroppy, is on pace to make a full recovery and return to the MTS Center by this season's end. A family spokesperson said the rumors about Kroppy never being able to attend another Jets game were untrue. Kroppy lives in Kenora, and the 98-year-old World War II vet has been in hospital there since early February. While we aren't sure what was ailing Kroppy, the spokesperson would only say that he had health-related concerns, and he hopes to be back to see the Jets take on the Ottawa Senators on March 30th. You'll be able to find Kroppy up on the scoreboard at the end of the national anthem, giving a salute to the crowd. Now an annual event, Female World Sports School Challenge is in full swing. As Rrctv's Riley Travinsky shows you, the fierce rivalries aren't the only draw to this tournament.
Charlene Bodnarchuk watches her team skate past her. It's an important game for the St. Mary's Academy Flames. The prep team has been practicing since August for the Female World Sports School Challenge. It's the girls' last chance before graduation to take the gold and impress the scouts who come out to watch them.
We've had lots of talent come out in our past years. Last year we had all of our grade 12s commit to NCAA Division I. So yeah, lots of talent coming out of the school.
One of these talents is Tori McLash. The 17-year-old goalie is injured today, but she's still here supporting her team. And in the fall, she's heading to UBC to join the university team. She says being a good hockey player is about more than just quick skating.
I think it's a lot more off ice than on ice, to be honest. Like, you need the on ice skill, but off ice needs to be like a good person, need to like respect each other, work hard in school. So I think it's a lot of things.
Scouts have even recruited players for Team Canada from this tournament before.
The biggest thing is I always say that if you're good enough and you work hard and you do the things right, you're going to get noticed by the right people to give you a future in hockey.
This is the 4th annual tournament held at the MTS Iceplex. The competition wraps up tomorrow with a gold medal game in the afternoon. Riley Travinsky, Rrctv.
This year's tournament featured 10 teams from all over North America. And keeping with the local hockey action, the MJHL playoffs are underway. The Steinbach Pistons lead the Swan Valley Stampeders in their series 3-0, and the defending champion Portage Terriers lead the Selkirk Steelers 3-0 as well. The Winkler Flyers are currently edging out the OCN Blizzard 2-1 in their series, and the Winnipeg South Blues are currently set up a game on the Verdun Oil Capitals, with their series being a 2-1 as well. A few games are on the slate for tonight, as the Oil Capitals play the Blues at 7 o'clock at the MTS Iceplex, and in Swan River, the Stampeders play the Pistons at 7:30. And that's all your local action. It's a really exciting time for most hockey fans, and it's been a really exciting week in sports all around.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know much about hockey, but I know that I love the Jets, and I'm still rooting for them.
Yeah, well, whether they win and kind of make it respectable or lose and get the first overall draft pick, there's some positives there. So,
thanks, Evan.
Stay with us. Aaron DeBoy is in next with entertainment. They're making soup for schools, how a bowl made by Winnipeg's top chefs will help students.
I didn't know that I was a creative person. I started to do creative stuff on the side, like writing, blogging, doing video blogs, and then that's when I realized I think I am a creative person.
I've always loved writing, and before enrolling in creative communications, I didn't know exactly what that meant or what I wanted to do with it, but once I joined the program, it became very clear that there's lots of ways to apply your love of writing to actually getting work.
The first year was a way to learn about a whole bunch of different things to help us decide what we wanted to narrow in on.
I got my hands on cameras and media production and advertising. I was writing ads and designing ads in public relations, doing news releases, and in journalism, of course, doing a bunch of news stories. So really, you get the wide range of skills here.
With the writing skills you get in Crecom, you feel confident that you can get a job helping employers and clients achieve their communications goals.
One of my favorite aspects of this program was being able to learn in the campus downtown. The mix of kind of the old buildings with the new, it really has tons of character.
The cool thing about the instructors at the college is that they have real-world experience, and many of them are still working in the field. It always enriches what they're teaching us.
Being in this program really helped me narrow my search of what I wanted to do with my life. And I feel like I have the skills now to take that next step.
I was finally learning how to do all the things I always wanted to do, and also make connections in that community. And it's prepared me now to fully launch into something totally different.
Welcome back. Erin DuBois joins us now with entertainment.
Now, I always used to watch The Bachelor when my sister lived with me, but now she moved out and I feel like I'm way too far behind.
Oh no, I can't believe it's been on for 20 seasons now. It's just crazy. Another season of The Bachelor has wrapped, and the new lovebirds are looking forward to their future together. This season's Bachelor, Ben Higgins, proposed to Lauren Bushnell, a flight attendant from Los Angeles. The two went to their first official public date yesterday, celebrating the event by posting photos on Instagram showing off Bushnell's $100,000 Neil Lane engagement ring. The two have been vocal about stepping out of the spotlight to live a normal life after their stint on the ABC show. Higgins picked Bushnell over JoJo Fletcher, who will now get her own televised shot at love on The Bachelorette. The First Lady is using music to promote girl power with a new song promoting the importance of women's education. Obama is not actually featured on the track, instead focusing the promotion of the song This Is For My Girls. Missy Elliott, Kelly Clarkson, Zendaya, and more all came together to create the track. The song is part of a fundraising initiative for Obama's Let Girls Learn campaign. The initiative aims at giving girls around the world a chance to gain skills and knowledge to end the confidence to break the cycle of poverty, raise healthier families, and help build their communities through education. Frank Sinatra Jr. has died. The 72-year-old singer died unexpectedly of cardiac arrest while on tour on Daytona Beach, Florida. Sinatra Jr. was the middle child of legendary Frank Sinatra and followed his father's footsteps into the music industry. Sinatra Jr. was able to provide the link to his father's music after his death, performing his songs and arrangements on tours. He also added a bizarre chapter to his father's life when he was kidnapped at knife point at 19 years old, and Sinatra paid kidnappers $240,000 for his release. Sinatra Jr. was married in 1998 but divorced in 2000. He is survived by his son, Michael. Red River College students were filling stomachs and warming hearts yesterday with delicious homemade soup. Rrctv's Jen Walishnowski shows you why.
People are lining up for the mushroom trio soup with Bothwell Black Truffle Monterey Jack gnocchi. Red River College students Terrence Stevenson and Ricky Strongquill are going after the silver ladle. It's the award for the best soup at the Stone Soup fundraiser, but for these students, it's all about the passion.
The passion, especially with the food that you make, took me and Ricky spent probably 2 days on this soup, and to see these people here wanting more of it, coming for a second, sort of makes you happy, passion.
And actually dealing with the people.
Yeah.
We don't get to deal with people a lot of times back of house, so actually dealing with people is a little different. And,
it's satisfying.
This is the third year that these students have taken part in the fundraiser. Now, the name, The Stone Soup, comes from a classic folktale where a stranger comes to town with nothing but a stone in his pocket, and nobody wants to share food with him. So he goes around, finds a pot, fills it with water, and throws the stone in the pot of boiling water. Pretty soon, people start to get curious, and they start adding their own ingredients to the soup to help make it taste a little bit better. By the end of the story, there's a whole pot of soup ready to share with everyone in the town.
And it was a team effort getting everything ready. The baking students helped out by making the bread, including the basket that's on display. The college students are competing against some of Winnipeg's top local chefs. The fundraiser is for the Child Nutrition Council of Manitoba, and all the proceeds are going towards food and nutrition programs in Manitoba schools. Jen Walishnowski, Rrctv.
St. Patrick's Day, so if you're looking for somewhere to enjoy some green beer, there are a ton of options for you here in Winnipeg. The Handsome Daughter, King's Head, and the Toad in the Hole are hosting a variety of live bands such as the Dust Rhinos, the Mulvey Street Maniacs, and the Catamounts. Shows start as early as 6 p.m., so get down there before it fills up. If the pub scene isn't your thing, Silver Heights Restaurant is featuring Irish group the Venus Murphys, along with all-you-can-eat Irish stew. Also, the Winnipeg Police Pipe Band has been doing a pub crawl all day and will continue this evening at various Tavern United locations. So are you two planning on taking part in any St. Patrick's Day festivities?
Well, I have actually never had a green beer, so I'm definitely gonna have to check that out. Thanks, Erin.
No problem.
Stay with us. how the money raised from 101 Donations Telethon will help animals in need.
Growing up, I always loved drawing or illustrating. That's always kind of been a passion of mine. As much as I love art, it's very hard to make a career out of it. I had heard that the graphic design program would offer me different skills that were more applicable to different careers.
I actually took the business administration course before coming to the graphic design course. So I was into marketing, but still that fuel of being creative and having an expressive outlet wasn't being fulfilled. And I filled that with the graphic design program. There's a lot more to the program than just drawing. You're looking at typography and setting your hierarchies and line weights. You're also in advertising class looking at target markets and how to creatively and visually communicate to certain target markets.
Using the technology has been really awesome because it's opened all these new doors, and I can create these things that in my head maybe I wasn't able to do so before in pen and paper. So it's cool. It's opened up a whole new world of art. I have now in my portfolio not only illustrations, but I have like a website I designed, an app, magazine spreads, and lots of different things, all in and around the creative side. The campus has a lot of character. You get a really good mix of two really important things, the right technology that you need and the inspiration from beautiful architecture.
Having the campus downtown in the area where a lot of these design studios are is really great. You can run into actual industry people and have actual conversations about your work or their work or what they do.
If you like art and you want to do art and you want to actually make a living off of it, it's a good idea to try the graphic design program because it can offer that for you.
And we're back with What's Up Winnipeg. So I have 3 things that you can do this weekend. So starting with St. Patrick's Day. If you're not doing anything tonight, then on Saturday they're having a parade, which is starting just there on Graham and Hargraves. So it's going to go to Graham, to Portage, and then all the way back. So it's at the tavern there. And then we have Agriculture in the City happening at the Forks. So that starts tomorrow, just regular Forks hours, so 9:30 to 9:30, and then on Saturday from 9 to 6:30. And there's going to have a whole bunch of commodity groups talking about agriculture. And then if you want to stay indoors, because we are getting that cold weather again on Sunday, throughout the weekend, they have Cineplex Family Favorites. And I didn't know that this happened, but every Saturday you can go to St. Vital, the theater at St. Vital, Polo Park, or Kildonan Place, and you can see a movie for $2.99 with your family. So they have 3 films happening there, Earth to Echo, and then there's also having Paranorman and The Games Maker. So if you're looking for things to do, those are just a couple ideas.
Thanks, Tanisha. Red River College students and many of the people working here on Rrctv are putting on a 9-hour live telethon for the Winnipeg Humane Society this weekend.
The students have spent months recording behind-the-scenes stories at the shelter. Rrctv's Jen Welichanowski takes you into the operating room for this telethon story.
A lot of prep involved in the surgery time.
Behind the Winnipeg Humane Society veterinarians, Yasmin is out cold and getting ready to lose her front right leg.
We don't exactly know what happened to it, but it's likely that she had the injuries since she was a puppy and she had never received emergency or any medical treatment for it. So the bone kind of healed improperly and now she has a bit of a crooked leg.
The day started with an antibiotic and a shave for Yasmin. She had to have the leg removed to prevent future complications.
It's pulling her ulna, her elbow bone there, in the joint so that the joint is no longer working properly. So if left, she would develop severe arthritis in that joint.
So that's your really focused clean.
The leg is being removed from the scapula because it's less painful for Yasmin than going through a joint.
Yeah, and she'll wrap the leg.
Now, the total length of Yasmin's surgery is approximately 2 hours. We've just seen the beginning of it. You can see they're still carrying on behind me. The good news is that Yasmin will be in recovery this afternoon, and it will only take her about 2 weeks to recover, and then she can move straight on to adoption. Yasmin is one of thousands of animals cared for at the Humane Society each year.
If it wasn't for people's donations coming in, we wouldn't have a chance to save Yasmin. We wouldn't be able to do these types of procedures and just give animals the type of happy homes and the forever lives that they deserve.
It doesn't usually take long for dogs to adjust to having 3 legs, so Yasmin will be up and running around in no time. Jen Walichnowski, Rrctv.
The telethon starts at 11 a.m. on Sunday.
You can watch it on Rrctv or online at the winnipeghumanesociety.ca.
It really is incredible the amount of work that our fellow students put into this.
Yeah, definitely. I hope that you raise a lot of money. Thanks so much. Have a good night.